They call them dirty docs. Tonight, prosecutors reveal how they track down MDs writing phony prescriptions for dangerous drugs. Casino controversy.
It's a substandard process for unprecedented procedure.
A last-minute vote and a lot of questions over Norfolk's big gamble. And after a former cop is sentenced,
I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please?
the ultimate act of forgiveness. Those stories and more in moments, but first we have to talk about this heat. Let's take you live downtown Norfolk right there for a few days into fall. Short sleeves are still in order for a walk down Granby Street. Even at this late hour, temperatures are in the 80s, but throw in the humidity and things feel even hotter. The heat is our top story this Wednesday night. Thanks for staying up. I'm David Allen. Nicole is off tonight. Let's put this all in perspective. Phoenix was cooler than Hampton Roads today. So was the Vegas Strip and downtown Houston. Crazy, right? Let's bring in the chief. We're talking record-breaking heat.
Yeah, and at one point it looked like it would be a record not just for October 2nd, but for the entire month of October.
Oof.
Turns out that wasn't true. Right now, we just showed you 82. That feels like 87, all because of that wind out of the south and southwest. And as a result, well, we were certainly above 90 today. So that makes 51 days this year. So far through today, shattering. You can see what we did last year and a little bit above what we had in 2017. So again, really, really hot this summer with a lot of days over 90. As for what I mentioned with the 90-some degree temperatures, now we thought we might have a record. Look at what we did today at Norfolk International, up to 97. That would have shattered the record for not just today, October 2nd, but forever, any date in the last 150 years that we know about in Norfolk. However, we knew that was suspect. It always runs high when we get these kinds of temperatures and a southwest wind. It's between two parallel runways and gets influenced a little bit by the asphalt and I think personally some of the jet exhaust. So what they did, they compared it today and it was 3 to 4 degrees higher than the surrounding observations at Norfolk Naval Base, at a co-op site and also at a Mesonet site that are within about a half a mile of there. So had to lower it and make the official high 93 degrees today. You can see the old record was 89 back in 1941. So we beat that one easily. Wouldn't that low feel nice? Well, might feel too cold. So again, 81 now. We're going to have one of the warmest overnights we've ever seen, probably the warmest ever overnight on October 3rd. So am I talking more heat tomorrow? Not necessarily. I'll tell you more what I mean about that coming up.
All right, another look at how it feels outside right now. Remember, we're keeping you updated with the new 13 News Now app. It's free in your app store. You know this wasn't going to come without some controversy. And let's be real, this is just the start of the back and forth over Norfolk's planned casino and resort. Let's focus on last night's resolution passed by City Council. It passed providing capital funds for 2 Norfolk schools. By most accounts, it was pretty quick. On Facebook, Councilwoman Andrea McClellan said she was only able to get a hold of the resolution 90 minutes before the vote was called. It was introduced by Councilman Tommy Schmiegel, who himself is a principal at a Norfolk school. It turns out a lot of people have something to say about that. Here's Chanuher.
A group of Norfolk residents are petitioning Norfolk City Council's first vote on the Norfolk Casino project. They're grabbing signatures from Norfolk residents. But yesterday, Norfolk City Council made another vote that was concerning to these petitioners. Once again, Norfolk City Council made a vote regarding the casino project that set some residents off.
This is about our elected leaders doing their due diligence.
City Council voted 7-1 in favor of a resolution which will dedicate revenue from the casino project to 2 Norfolk schools, Booker T. Washington High School and Maury High School. Councilwoman Andrea McClellan was the lone vote against the resolution, saying it'll be a one-time lump sum.
We received notice at midnight on Monday night with a hand-delivered letter to the council members' houses, and that we were going to vote on a resolution, but no mention of what the resolution was. So surprised that we didn't get a copy of it until 5 o'clock when we were right in the middle of our work session.
Her concern, like it was with the last vote, was how quick this vote was following the release of the information, not giving residents a chance to weigh in ahead of time.
We should be holding town halls. We should have opportunities to dialogue with civic leagues.
Jackie Glass, one of the residents petitioning council's vote to sell the land, says she wants the same and wants to see citizens engaged in the process.
It was last minute. It was, you get the information late and then you're trying to digest it to come ready to have an opinion about it. This is the same thing happened here is exactly what we're asking not to happen.
McClellan says notice of Tuesday night's vote was only made public with a sign at City Hall, and she was the one who announced it was happening on social media. When I reached out to Councilman Tommy Smeagol, he says he followed the rules, but wasn't interested in commenting further on Tuesday's vote. In Norfolk, Chinu 13 News Now.
Let's stay in Norfolk so we can update you on a story that broke earlier today. Neighbors are being allowed back into their homes after an ammonia leak. It happened at a cold storage building on Curlew Drive. That is not far from the Newtown Road tide stop. Crews got everything secured around 3:30 this afternoon. They're blaming a blown gasket for the leak. It's a small step, but 2 battles were won in the war against opioids today. 2 Virginia doctors, both convicted of illegally prescribing drugs, will spend time in prison. These were separate cases, but let's focus on the dentist from Virginia Beach sentenced today. Gary Hartman won't be seeing patients at this practice anymore. Instead, he'll be in a jail cell for the next 8.5 years. Madeline Schmidt talked to a top prosecutor about a problem he calls dirty docs.
Hundreds of thousands of pills between the 2 of them. These Virginia medical professionals won't be practicing anymore. On Wednesday, Dr. Joel Smithers was sentenced to 40 years for a multi-state pill mill operation based out of Martinsville. His crimes were linked to the death of a West Virginia woman. Meanwhile, dentist Gary Hartman received 8 years for his scheme out of Virginia Beach.
For this person to push pills in this manner out onto the street, there's no telling the extent of the harm and misery he's caused.
The U.S. Attorney for Eastern Virginia spoke with 13 News Now about the Virginia Beach case. Hartman used, quote, impoverished people by promising them free dental work if they picked up and returned prescription pills to him.
He abused his position of trust. He preyed upon individuals who are in a vulnerable situation, and he absolutely betrayed his oath as a medical provider.
Hartman and Smithers are what Terwilliger calls dirty docs, and they're single-handedly adding to the opioid epidemic. In total, more than 500,000 pills that we know of.
This is absolutely a huge part of the problem. Frankly, it's one that's, one of the most despicable.
He says it's only a matter of time before a dirty doc gets caught and sent away.
I think the message is out there, and sentences like today help send that.
Right, Madeline is following the story from the newsroom tonight. And Madeline, let's get to the bottom line here. What do we know about how they catch these dirty docs?
Yeah, well, David, the U.S. Attorney says it's really quite simple. They have access to records of which doctors are prescribing these kinds of pills. So it just takes a red flag and then they start looking into these so-called dirty docs.
Madeline, thank you for that. Let's get to 3 big stories we're following for you tonight. Stickers advocating for a hate group are gone at CNU. They popped up there and on several other college campuses. The school's president was quick to respond. Paul Tribble says there is no room for hate at CNU. To Virginia Beach now, and the cop accused of forging public records. Investigators accused Norman Teague of messing with administrative procedures tied to a misdemeanor warrant service last month. Officer Teague is off the streets while the investigation takes its course. And roll up your sleeves, it is not too early for your flu shot. Centera is offering free drive-through flu shots, not this Saturday, but the one after. They'll be set up in 11 spots around the region. We posted them on the new and improved 13 News Now app. Let's take you live to Dallas. Protesters marching through the streets following the sentencing of Amber Geiger. The former Dallas police officer convicted of murdering a man in his own apartment faced 99 years in prison. Instead, she got 10 and could be out of prison even earlier. At one point, the protesters blocked a roadway. At another, there was a scuffle. Police have been there every step of the way. Preceding that was an extraordinary moment in the courtroom. It was something that got the attention of a lot of people. Amber Geiger learns her fate.
10 years imprisonment in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
That's less than the possible life behind bars the former Dallas police officer faced. Relatives of the man she killed in tears.
I forgive you.
Botham John's brother asking the judge to hug Geiger.
Can I give her a hug, please? Please?
And he did, even the judge in tears, the two consoling each other. But outside the courtroom, his mother lashed out at police.
If Amber Geiger was trained not to shoot in the heart, my son would be standing here today.
The jury taking less than 2 hours to reach their decision. The former officer faced new scrutiny after prosecutors entered into evidence texts and social media posts, some described as racially insensitive, including one between her and a friend with a dog. The owner telling Geiger the dog may be racist. "It's okay," the former officer replied. "I'm the same." And let's take another look at the situation unfolding in Dallas. That is live. You're looking right there. One last note here. Prosecutors wanted at least 28 years behind bars. That's how old Botham would have turned on Sunday. But Amber Geiger could be up for parole after just 5 years.